Welcome to a heady, happy edition of Celtics Roundtable powered by CLNS Radio. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. The Celtics just beat the Warriors. It's 14 in a row. The Celtics, let me just in case everyone's not clear, Gordon Hayward is not on this team, and he ain't coming through that door, not for another season. The Celtics just beat the Warriors for their 14th win in a row. My head's going to explode. I'm, of course, Jonathan Levy, joined by Matthew Ignall, our stat and resident everything extraordinaire. Matthew Ignall, the question finally must be asked. We've gotten to the point. They've won 14 in a row. They have the best record in the league, my friend. They just beat the Warriors. How close are they to actually being a legit championship contender? Are they going to give the Warriors real trouble? Are they going to make it to the title game, the finals? Is this a real thing, or is this a mirage?
I mean, I don't think the Celtics are as good as the Warriors, but you know what? They've won like half their games against them. It feels like over, since Steve Kerr took over. One thing is for sure, though, the defense is real. Like, the Celtics just held the Warriors to 88 points. The Warriors were running all their pretty off-ball stuff, and the Celtics were just fighting through those screens and getting their long arms out there to really contest those shots. And the Warriors were like rushing things. I mean, you look at it. I mean, maybe Steph Curry, maybe his thigh was still bothering him, and it was his first game back. But 3 for 14. Klay Thompson, 5 for 18. I mean, when they got free, they hit their shots. It's just the Celtics were there every time. So I believe the defense is real. The offense obviously is a little bit of a struggle, but I think that's to be expected without Gordon Hayward. But the Celtics very well might have the best defense in the league, certainly top 3.
Yeah, I think it's a legitimate thing to say the Celtics have the best defense in the league. It's crazy. Remember Avery Bradley, supposedly the best defender on the perimeter in the league? A lot of people felt we sort of gave him away.
He beat them in Oracle this year, so.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, the Celtics won the game against the Warriors on Thursday night, shooting 32.9% from the field. Now, Marcus Smart, of course, brought that down, but 32.9%, and they won anyway. It's crazy. Now, the Celtics, they're doing things they didn't do in previous years. They're holding their own on the boards all season long. They're back to being a great defensive team like they were 2 seasons ago. I mean, we always see the Warriors guards struggle against the Celtics. I agree. Since the Steve Kerr era really started, it seems like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry shoot poorly against the Celtics and not really against anybody else. I don't know. It seems like Stevens has them figured out a little bit. That said, they did miss quite a lot of pretty open shots in the last 5 minutes or so. I'm a little surprised the Celtics were able to win this game when all is said and done.
Yeah, Klay Thompson got that wide open one on the wing. But I thought most of them, I don't know, they just seemed like a little fast to me, like a little rushed, like a Celtic was like running by or had a hand up there. I mean, even Kevin Durant's final shot, we know he's one of the greatest, mid-range shooters of all time. But, Horford defended that pretty well. I got to give Jaylen Brown, his defense was just incredible today. Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson. I mean, Durant hit some ridiculous shots over Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen couldn't have defended it any better. And Brad Stevens talked this year, prior to this year, about how the Celtics really needed Jaylen Brown to step up defensively. And, I mean, he's exceeded my expectations. I mean, this whole team has exceeded my expectations, particularly on the defensive end. I actually thought this was the best game that I've seen out of Jaylen Brown 2 ways. I know he probably wasn't that efficient on the night. He was I got it. Yeah, he was 7 for 18, 3 for 8 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the line. That's not bad against this Warriors defense, when the Celtics only scored 92 points. So, I mean, he was solid there. Yeah, 22 points on 18 shots, not terrible. He had 5 or 6 free throws. That's not bad for him. But his defense was just incredible, and he just gave this team the spark they needed. I think the future's really bright for him, and he's not always, he's a guy that I've sort of thought had like a high ceiling, low floor. I think he's coming closer to that ceiling outcome. We'll see how he develops, but his defense is just so promising for his future.
I mean, the fact that he can hit the 3, he gets to the line, he can score inside and finish inside. He's got to work on his handle. I expect him to get better with some of his weaknesses as he gets older. He's still just 21 years old. Jason Tatum, by the way, the youngest guy on the floor, I think, pretty much the whole time. He was the lowest starter for points for the Celtics. He only scored 12. But I got to tell you, I feel such a sense of ease every time that guy has the ball. I know he's going to make the right decision. I know he's going to take a good shot, not a bad one. I know he's going to make the right pass. It's incredible to watch this guy play. There's such an ease and comfort that he has It looks like he's been on the floor and playing in the NBA forever. By the way, guys who didn't look like they were playing in the NBA forever, Zaza Pachulia, even Draymond. You realize that no Warriors scored, except for Durant, scored more than 13 points in this game? The Warriors score 117 points a game in the league. They just scored 88. By the way, that 117 is after the 88 was already added and brought that down. They were over 120 before this game. The Celtics defense is exactly what we're hoping for. I mean, it's a street fight every single night with this team, and they love playing ugly, and luckily they can win ugly too. A lot of these games feel close, like they barely beat Brooklyn, but man, it is hard to beat this team when they just throw the defensive team at you. Like you put all those, everyone can play defense, it feels like, on the entire team. Even Kyrie plays defense suddenly. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, Al Horford, once again, great defensive game. You wouldn't think that he's like, what is he, 31 right now? Yeah, I mean, he might, he's probably having the best season of his career up to this point.
Amazing.
I know it's very early. He was great. I thought he outplayed Draymond Green, although Draymond obviously excellent on the defensive end as usual. Ojale had his moments as well. Marcus Smart was a beast defensively. We could talk about the 0 for 7. He's never scored the ball so poorly. I can't believe that he shot 65% at the rim his sophomore year at Oklahoma State. It's so brutal right now, but he is on a plus-minus tear despite the worst scoring struggles of his entire career. Another plus 15 for Marcus Smart again tonight. So, it's hey, I mean, in any game where you're plus 15, you probably did more things right than you did wrong.
Is it that true, though? I mean, plus 15 is, as we know, is a massively flawed stat.
Yeah.
If I'm on the court with the Warriors, I'm going to be plus 21, but it doesn't mean I did anything to help. I'm not saying Marcus doesn't do anything, but man, I got to tell you, it is getting harder and harder to watch Marcus Smart play offense. There was a minute to go in the game. The Celtics, I think, were tied at that point, and Kyrie passed the ball into the post to Marcus. He pushes it back out to Kyrie. I'm thanking the Lord. Whatever Lord exists, I'm thanking him. Kyrie bounces it right back into Marcus again. I don't understand what's going on there. Marcus ends up taking a terrible shot. Missing, of course, and Warriors get the ball. Why in the world is Marcus Smart being the offensive focal point with a minute to go in the game? I understand he had what they felt like was a good matchup in the post, but the guy hasn't. I think he's now 1 for 15 in the last 2 games. He's shooting, I believe, 28% from the field, not from 3, from the field. And you know what? He's shooting 27% from 3, which means 2s are like 29%. This is not sustainable. I don't think Marcus Smart is going to be on the team in a year now, unless he gets it together really quickly. I think Terry Rozier is going to play well enough, and the Celtics are only going to have room for one good defensive point guard who can't throw the ball in the ocean, not 2. Marcus and Terry Rozier will still be cheaper. They got another year of him. The Celtics aren't going to want to pay Marcus Smart whatever they're demanding. I don't think he's even an $8 million player anymore.
I think he's a steal at $8 million. I really do.
He may be a steal, but who's going to pay the cost, my man? What team out there is going to pay for a guy who's shooting 29% from the field? Well, nobody.
I hope the Celtics do, and I think he's a lot better than Terry Rozier still. To go back to your Tatum point, I thought it was interesting how, like, down the stretch, Tatum kind of got the call over Marcus Morris, who had a good defensive game as well. And I just thought that was interesting decision by Brad Stevens. I thought, it was probably more that he just, Jason Tatum is the future, and he just wanted to give him these, crunch time situations against a really good team with, everybody watching. It was good reps for him. And hey, he came through at the free throw line. Another great free throw line night for Jason Tatum. Yeah, he scored 12 points on 5 shots and didn't hit a 3. Who else stood out to you in this game, Levy?
Marcus Morris, I thought played pretty well, and the guy takes shots that I don't necessarily love, but he can hit them. Like, he hits that little pull-up long two with a guy in his face with regularity, at least so far, as a Celtic. I feel like the
defender should just, like, get up into him, because he wants to do that, like, every time. Get you on your heels and just, like, put it up. I think Iguodala, like, he's so smart. He just, like, he forced him, and then Morris had to do this, like, weird, like, falling away type of shot. He's struggled a little bit by the plus minus numbers recently. We'll see if that reverts, because it does look like he's doing good things on the floor. I thought he was really good defensively.
You know, this show is not sponsored by Marcus Smart Cold. It's sponsored by Action Heat, which makes the world's best heated clothing. That's right. Heatable clothing powered by rechargeable batteries. Are you kidding me? It's the frickin' future. It's jetpack time, people. It's toasty warmth, and it covers the entire body. It's got heated jackets, socks, gloves, hats, even undergarments. Oh, baby. Now we're talking. Like long johns. Okay, not as exciting. You can stay warm and cozy from head to toe with Action Heat. Now, these batteries can also be used to recharge your phone or any other gadget while you're wearing them, not just your clothing, because, I don't know, apparently it's $2,200 now. That's the year. It's perfect for a friend or family or on your holiday gift list. It's available in men's and women's styles. It's heated products that fit everyone's budget. They start at just $40. And, of course, we have a special deal for you because we love you. 15% off the entire order when you go to action-heat.com/Celtics or use the coupon code Celtics. All right, let's get back to it. Another guy, you mentioned him already. Al Horford has been awesome all year. He's averaging 9 boards a game. I knew you could do it, Al. I knew you had rebounding in you somewhere. You're tall, you're athletic. It had to happen. It's exciting to watch him also just take a little more command offensively. He's still only getting the 15 points a game that he got last year, but it feels different to me. It feels like he's being more assertive offensively. He's taking that little baby hook in the paint a lot more, very effectively. He's getting offensive rebound putback dunks. I don't think he did that at all last year, like 0. It's like 3 in the last 2 games. Al Horford living up to the contract, the reputation, all the talk as, at the time anyway, the best free agent signing in Celtics history. And I don't know, man. The Celtics are close now.
You think so?
I think they're not close enough to win the title this year. I don't expect that at all. They might be the best team in the East for real, though. Like, for real now. And I think they would go out quickly to the Warriors. I know we won tonight, but I mean, I think 4-1 is probably like a hopeful number, and 4-2 would be if everything went right perfectly. I don't think you could even get to 7 against this team. The Warriors, in my mind, are the best team of all time. But 2 years from now, with Hayward, Tatum 2 years older, Brown 2 years older, another top 5 pick coming from either the Lakers or more likely the Kings in 2 years. I don't know, man. Kyrie 2 years older at 27 in his full-on prime. This team might be the best team in the league, especially if Joel Embiid gets a little bit hurt or Markelle Fultz is the player we've seen him be, and it isn't just about injuries and weird mind stuff. What do you think? Am I crazy?
This team could get there. I mean, they have everything. They have the coaching, they have the youth, they have the talent. Philly does scare me a little bit. I did see Joel Embiid go off for 46 and 16, 7 and 7 or something like that. So if Joel Embiid stays healthy, they might not even need Markelle Fultz to get to that level, just between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But the Celtics are here for now, and they look poised to stay there for a very long time. Everything's really gone well over the course of this rebuild. What else you got for me?
I mean, the thing that stands out to me, and maybe it's just like this may be the high point of the season, right? 14 in a row. Hayward's out, and still they win 14 in a row. They just beat the Warriors. This may be as good as it gets. But everything I get upset about with Danny Ainge, and there's very few things. Like, I almost always trust Danny. The places where I get concerned are when I feel like he gives away future assets or undervalues current Celtics assets and deals. So both the Kyrie trade and the Tatum trade worried me a little bit. Man, so far, it looks like Ainge just knows what he's doing, and everyone else, myself included, are fools. Like, Ainge knew he wanted Tatum. Maybe Fultz will end up being way better, but man, Tatum looks like the best player in this class right now through 16 games. And while maybe someone else will catch up, there's no one really obvious. Like, he seems like clearly the number one guy right now. Plus, the Celtics also got likely the Kings pick in 2 years, which is probably going to be like the 3rd pick in that draft. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's crazy value. And Ainge was the guy who had the courage to say, I don't want Fultz. I'm trading down, and I don't care what anyone says. I mean, it's just extraordinary when you have a GM who is both smart and not afraid of losing his job. What's possible? We see this with the Patriots. We're seeing it again with the Celtics. Also, a coach who's not afraid of losing his job. Everyone knows they're here for a long time. They can take their time and build this correctly. Ainge has been patient for years. He could have traded these Brooklyn picks all the way through. He waited forever, and he finally got a deal he felt was good enough in Kyrie Irving. I mean, Irving's been awesome, and I expect him to be better down the road. I mean, I really think he's going to improve. He still takes a few bad shots here and there. This Celtics team is going to be good right now, and in 2 years, they might be the best team in the league. I'm excited.
Did you get worried when Kyrie Irving took his face mask off?
Yes. What are you doing, man? I know you believe in a flat earth, but you have to believe in some medical science. Like, come on, dude. One whack. Also, in the Nets game, he got whacked like 2 or 3 times right in that area of the face. You'd think he would be worried about it, but I'm surprised also the Celtics let him do it. If I was Stevens, I would have been like, you're on the bench, buddy. Like, I can't let you get your face broken and miss you for the next month or two. But it all worked out great.
Maybe it's just because it was the Warriors, but it does look like it's really bothering him. Maybe he's letting it get to him. I want to know how long this streak is going to go now. Now that I started like, all right, well, it's going to go to 13, and then the Golden State buzz saw it. They beat like 6 straight teams by 15 or more points, something like that. It's probably even longer than that since the last time I counted. But coming up at Atlanta, at Dallas, at Miami, it's a road trip, but those are teams that the Celtics probably should be able to beat. Then they got Orlando, Indiana, Detroit, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Dallas, and then they finally go to San Antonio. Kawhi Leonard should probably be back, I guess, maybe, on Friday, December 8th. And then there's a fairly easy slate of games after that. I mean, the Celtics, lead in the Eastern Conference could really balloon, fingers crossed, if everyone stays healthy. And that they don't have this hangover after this win, but I don't think they will, just because they can always rely on that defense, and they are playing Atlanta and Dallas in their next 2 games.
I mean, I think they're going to be favored in every one of those games until the San Antonio game, almost certainly, and I don't expect them to win all of them. That's very unlikely. I mean, 14 in a row is already very unlikely, but they're going to win a vast majority of those games. I think they really are going to open up a strong lead and probably cruise home to the number 1 seed at this point. I mean, it's going to take a lot for them not to. The Cavs are nowhere. The Cavs are like 9-7, are nowhere close to them. There's no other clear challenger to the throne in terms of the regular season. Clearly, I think the Cavs are probably still legit favorites if you're looking at Vegas or something like that to go to the finals. But by the time we get to the playoffs, that may no longer be the case if the Celtics look as good as as they've been looking. I don't know. I guess another thing to consider is fantasy basketball, not just regular basketball. And that's DraftKings, baby. You got to go to DraftKings.com. They've got contests for everyone, even beginners and casual players get to win cash. Ask Dan for St. Louis and Jeremy from Austin. Apparently, they turned a $3 entry into $1,000, which, not to Jason Tatum, but to us, sounds like real money. They got huge cash prizes. And apparently, we have some kind of code. Yes, it's CLNS. That gets you, what do you get here? You get something cool. Matt, help me out. You get cash in. What do they get? Free. Oh my gosh. First deposit. They can $10,000. I don't know, man. I can't even read through this thing. It's too complicated. They get prizes and free stuff. Use the code CLNS.
That's all you need to know. Just use the code CLNS.
Come on.
You can't go wrong. You'll get free stuff.
DraftKings.com. Yeah, you're going to get free stuff if you do it. How can you turn it down? All right. Steve Kerr was talking about how the Celtics are the team to beat for the foreseeable future. We're kind of agreeing with this. The team we haven't mentioned in terms of this is the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's someone who's pretty soon on the schedule. I think they're like 3 or 4 games out. The Bucks have got lots of young talent. They just added Eric Bledsoe as well. Are they a legit dark horse to challenge the Celtics now and in the future?
I don't think I'd put them above the Celtics. I mean, Bledsoe's another dynamic guy that they really need, but I don't know. I just feel like they have like a few more warts than the Celtics do, and they've been ranked in like the bottom third of the league defensively. Obviously, Giannis is amazing. They need to find like a true number 2 on that team. The Bledsoe's that guy right now, but I don't know how he's going to age, and he's 27 right now, and in a few years that athleticism will wane. It's probably already waned some with his injury. Personally, I'm a little bit more scared of the Sixers. How do you feel on that?
The Sixers terrify me.
Okay.
The Sixers, it's easy to forget that they get the other of the picks that the Celtics don't get. So they're also going to get yet another top draft pick, unless the Lakers are actually pretty good this year, which it looks like they are. So maybe the Sixers are going to pick like 7th or 8th, which is a little bit safer. Because if they get the number 1 overall pick this year or next year, and you add it to that team, it may just be over. Like we may just all be able to go home for a while. Like when Durant joined the Warriors, you just sort of forget about it for a while, right? The Sixers worry me the most by far. The only other team really in the East that I'm worried that I even think about, though, is the Bucks. And I don't know, when you got Semi Ojeleye shutting down Giannis so easily, maybe it's not a problem. I don't know.
Hey,
LeBron's getting older.
That's true. Speaking of LeBron, we're talking about like the Cavs, and if the Celtics can challenge the Cavs this year, I just got to see something that they can just slow down LeBron a little bit. I just haven't seen it yet. I just need some tick of evidence that that when LeBron turns it up, the Celtics can at least slow him down. No one can stop LeBron, but we've seen in the past guys like Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, essentially keep him from driving into the paint at will. I think we remember the 2014 finals where, he had a great series, but it was mostly built on 3-point shooting from LeBron when Kawhi was guarding him, and Kawhi justifiably won MVP of that series. We have not seen the Celtics be able to contain LeBron James just yet. Go ahead.
Is Shemi the guy? Is Shemi the true guy who might be able to do it? Because I don't know. I don't think Jaylen Brown's strong enough. I don't think most of the guys are strong enough, or they're not quick enough. I mean, that's the problem.
Or provide
right?
enough offense.
Well, that's the problem with Shemi too. But I don't know. If we don't play Marcus Smart, then we can play Shemi, right? I don't know. If Shemi can shut down LeBron at all, and I agree with you, it's really just about the drives to the hoop. The guy's going to shoot from outside, we're happy. And if he hits it, he hits it. You just got to live with that, of course. But Shemi shut down Giannis pretty well, and
sure.
It's not the same thing, but it's close, right? He's our best hope. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi, our only hope.
Maybe. Jason Tatum didn't have the best defensive game against the Warriors. Maybe he's got a shot. Jaylen Brown, probably maybe a little too small, and LeBron put him in the torture chamber in that first game of the year. So We'll see. Maybe LeBron will pack his bags, go to LA. Maybe the Spurs.
That would be amazing.
Terrifying.
It's kind of a perfect setup though for LeBron to leave, right? The Celtics will be rising, the Sixers are rising. LeBron wants to go play, in the place where the Warriors are. Why not play in the Warriors conference for a few years? But please leave the conference and make it easy. And then, the Celtics, you can sort of pencil them into the finals next year, unless the 76ers really come on, which I wouldn't expect that quickly anyway.
Hey, and the Celtics have been effective against the Warriors. Maybe with another leap from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they can actually threaten them. We'll see.
Yeah,
I do think that the Celtics maybe got a little bit of a favorable whistle on Thursday night. It looked like the Warriors were plenty pissed off about a lot of the calls that were being made. I didn't see too many complaints from the Celtics end, but still, I don't think you can deny that the Celtics and Brad Stevens have a formula that works against the Warriors. One thing I wonder is that if the Warriors will just kind of simplify things in the future, a lot of the off-ball stuff just really wasn't working. Maybe when Baines is out there, you kind of want to just have Steph Curry attack him and say, okay, Baines, defend me, 30 feet from the hoop, something like that. So we'll see. I think this game probably meant more to the Celtics than to the Warriors. But
for sure.
Still, it's still a giant win. It's still a huge confidence boost. And this was the biggest game of the season. And once again, giant comeback from the Celtics. They were down 17 again.
Incredible.
So that's 3 games this year with already, how many games have they played? 16? 3 out of the 16 where they've had comebacks of 17 or more? Ridiculous.
When you can shut teams down, when you can shut the Warriors down the way they did, you can come back, right? Because you just got to get a little bit hot from 3, and you're going to be back in the game. You can score 12 points in a row really fast.
They didn't even get hot from 3, right?
No, they didn't get hot from anywhere, man. It was crazy. They could not score to save their lives.
7 for 32 from 3.
So brutal.
Yeah.
All right. That is going to do it. We are so happy. It's a 14-game winning streak. You can pencil the Celtics into the finals, people. Matt Ignall said it. Probably going to win even. I'm not going to go that far. But we appreciate you watching. If you like the show, definitely click like and subscribe. If you're listening to us on the podcast apps of any kind, go ahead and subscribe to the Boston Celtics news feed. We are at CLNS Roundtable. No, we're at CLNS Radio. CLNS Roundtable. Well, I don't know.
At CLNS Roundtable and at CLNS Media.
Thank goodness somebody knows where we are and what the ads are about. All right, we'll see you next time on Celtics Roundtable.